Yo, what is good, my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned with yet another Kaiju number 8 video. And guys, today we're going to be talking about who you should be summoning for between Kikoru and between Chester. By the way, the answer is Chester, but we're going to break down why the answer is Chester and why you should keep your hard-earned diamonds or dimensional crystals off of Kikoru's banner. It is a very obvious answer to the question, I feel like, but I will write some things out for you very clearly so we can just understand why we don't need to pick up Kikoru. Not to say that Kikoru is a bad unit. I read over both of their kits somewhat briefly. I do not have Kikoru yet. I do actually have Chester, so I have actually gotten the opportunity to use Chester. I used Kikoru in the trial battle, and Kikoru seems like a very fun unit, but again, let's break down why you want to summon for Chester. I'm not playing any games, chat. We're getting right to it. We're going to say it as it is. But before we get into that, if you guys do enjoy these videos, then go down below and leave a like on the video. You can also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time the Deadman hits the Kaiju banner Lost Day Mines, because they dropped 2 banners at the same time, Glide. And you guys can also go down below and comment and let me know what you want to know. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So guys, at a very base level, first of all, Chester is a supporter unit. You can't see it just yet, but it'll pop up in a second. Chester is a support unit, and Kikoru is an attacker unit. Before we even talk about each one of them individually, band for band, versus each other as a character, I just want to show you something very important. This is a list of all the characters in the game right now, minus Kikoru. That's everybody. Attackers, supporters, defenders. There are 25 units right here. Kikoru would make 26. Which, guys, I'm not really that pressed on Kikoru right now. I could go pick up a copy of Kikoru, but I'd rather pick her up from her banner instead of wasting my pity points on that, because buying weapons is cheaper than buying characters. But I am going to summon for the character, obviously, because I have to make content. I have to make videos. I have to show y'all how the character works. But even still, you as a free-to-play player, or even you as a casual, or even you as a spender who's trying to prioritize the right things in your account, Kikoru, I'm just going to go ahead and say, is not worth the pickup, because I just went through some content that is specifically for her, and without her, I just beat it with all the 3 stars, all the clear and everything. I feel like Chester was a very big role in that, but I feel like if I didn't have Chester, then the way that I just beat that mission would be like not impossible, but I'd just kind of be sitting there like, Chester is like Rio on steroids, because he is a full team wide buffer, but instead of buffing himself on his skill 2, he buffs himself, which leads to a buff for the team, and then he buffs himself, or he buffs everybody on his ultimate, and also when he does his normal attack, he can give off buffs. This man is buffing everywhere, versus Rio just giving a buff on his combat skill to himself, and then a buff on his ultimate to everybody. So this man is just absolutely insane. Mina, again, somebody who only supports one person. Hoshino, somebody who only supports one person. Chester supports everybody on the team, but does it in a much better way with damage dealt and crit damage, and also is the same typing as Rio, so like probably a direct replacement kind of is what it's looking like to me. But guys, the thing that I want to show you right here is, if we set this to attacker, we can see that nearly 16 units in the game, remember Kikoru is missing, nearly 16 units in the game right now are attackers. And one of them is the Kikoru, which would mean that if I had Kikoru in my account right now, right here, that would mean that 9 of the attackers are 5-star attackers. And then 5 of the attackers are, wait, what? 6, I'm sorry. 6 of the attackers are 4-star attackers. I'm be honest with you, Nadami, a very good option for an attacker. Kaiju number 8, a very good option for an attacker. Hoshino can work if you really need to make him work, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be, him and Kikoru are probably, I think, still in that kind of like realm of like attackers who can somewhat be impressive by themselves, but would probably absolutely need a buffer, versus the 2 up here that I just said, and Hoshino, like they look really, really good with the buffer, but like they may not necessarily need it. They have enough in their own kit to build themselves up. Same thing for Deno. He has enough in his own kit to make him impressive enough. Mina maybe needs a little bit of build up, but you can see here, out of all 8 of these characters that I just named here, or I guess 9 including Kikoru, right? Out of the 9 5-star attackers, you just saw I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are still like just really solid choices that you can just throw up and use somewhere, right? You know, he's a little more specific because he is against non-giant class kaiju. She's a little more specific because she's better against giant class kaiju, right? So maybe not even including Hoshina, but still you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not even talking about the new Kikoru. So already you can see there are so many different options in the spot that Kikoru is in that it's just like, is she worth the summon? I think not. And even if you want to make the argument that she is a new blunt attacker and she still goes hard, like, bro, like I said, I just beat this content that I'm talking about, and I'm gonna go look at the content and show you guys. And I'm gonna make a different video on the content too, just so I can break it down to you why the team setup was so cracked. But the content that I was doing, the fierce battle area, it was so hard, not hard, it was like, the way that I looked at it, I was like, oh, they very obviously want you to summon for Kikoru and use her in here and absolutely thrax this stage, but I still made it work for Kaiju number 8 because you just gotta know how to build your team. You gotta know how to control the fight. If you do not control the fight will control you, and it'll control your wallet and force you to do things like summon for Kikoru when you do not have to. But Chester, I feel like, was an absolute no-brainer, an absolute necessity, absolutely needed for that experience. Now, I want to show you guys another thing. This is the support class in the game. Do you notice something a bit weird about the support class? It's like as though even though supports are very important units that make everybody else look good, it's like they're trying to hold back and not put too many of them to make sure that we can't just absolutely flood these stages and wash them and demolish them every single time. Very, very interesting, huh? Right? Because look at this. Like I just said, you have Rio, which is pretty much just a budget version of this man, except for he doesn't do nearly enough buffs to even be considered the same at this point. Hoshina, still best battle buddy in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if people were running teams where Hoshina is beside their best DPS and you have Chester on the team as well, just to make that DPS shine even more. Because I've done teams where it's like number 10 suit Hoshina, this Hoshina, Mina, and then Rio. Now that would just look like this Hoshina, Mina, and then Chester instead, right? But you can see Chester is our first 5-star supporter, and he's very excellent at his job. Like I just said, he clears all 3 of these. Is no questions asked. He clears all 3 of these. And Hoshina is cool because he's a slasher, but I mean, like, the most common type that you need to break Kaiju in this game is shooting types, because that's the most common type of weapon in the series at all. These guys down here aren't even in contention for, like, these. This is the real tier. No. Chester is like the S tier of supporters now. This would be like the A tier of supporters, and then this would be like the B tier of supporters. And Iharu is kind of like in between A and B tier because he has the defense down, he has the shock, but even still, it's not that excellent, right? But you can see here, your options for supports are very, very limited. And also, chat, they are all 4-star characters. Not to mention, since they're 4-star characters, their stats are going to be a lot lower. If we take a look at Chester's stats comparatively, well, Chester's stats are going to look a little bit lower right now. Just specifically looking at Hoshina versus Chester, because my Hoshina is actually pretty ridiculous, but Chester is actually faster. So without this weapon, I'm pretty sure Hoshina's speed is 119, which makes Chester literally 1 speed faster than Hoshina. So that is actually pretty freaking insane. But yeah, you look at the rest of these 4-star characters, their stats aren't matching up with this man, and I can't look at those guys down here. I can't look at him because he's level 90 versus level 100. That's unfair. But still, though, you can see that Chester just has a lot of very good things going for him. This isn't a breakdown video for Chester, so I'm not going to go completely into his kit, but just off of the general explanation that I have given you, I think that alone it should be clear to see why picking up a new supporter is going to be a lot more important than picking up a new attacker. He is also an assault rifle character, so even if you are unlucky and cannot pick up his assault rifle, you do have a plethora of options that you can use to give him something in the meantime so that you can still get the benefits out of him. But I'll be honest with you, his assault rifle, after the equipped unit activates normal attack, applies attack plus 25% for 2 turns to the equipped unit, and after the equipped unit activates combat skill, applies damage dealt plus 9% for 3 turns to all other allies. And every time you upgrade that, let's see, the 34% attack goes up by 3.4%, the 25% right here goes up by 2.5% right here on the normal attack. When he does a normal attack, he gives himself extra attack, and then this goes up by 0.9%. I had assumed, yes, by 0.9%. So he can get some pretty decent stat buffs on that just by doing the ascension. But yeah, I mean, is there really much more to say? Like I said, he is a support unit, and also since there are so many attackers in the game, just another thing that I'm considering, I feel like a lot of people maybe are going to be a little skimpy on resources for attackers, just because every time you turn the corner and have to work on a unit, is it not an attacker, bro? Like, if you've worked on 2 other units that are in a different class from attacker, how long are you working on units until you get back around to attacker? You're just working on another attacker and expending the same attacker materials. He's also just going to be a little refreshing in the fact that you're going to be using support materials instead of attacker materials. And he is a 1-type shooter too, so he is actually pretty easy to invest in, because all of his things just require support stuff specifically, and then the shooter material. No other extra materials in there or anything. So I guess the one thing that is a silver lining for 1 attribute plating break characters is the fact that their items required to actually boost them up are going to be pretty simple to figure out, pretty simple to farm. But let's go over to that game mode now and just have a look at it. Now, guys, this is the Fury of Inheritance Fierce Battle Area. I feel like I definitely want to test out a bunch of different units in here. But yes, I am right now set on this team for beating the second half of this stage, just because Nadami, absolutely essential. If you don't have Kikoru, I'm imagining. I can't imagine Kikoru being much better than Nadami, except for the fact that she's like really, really fast. If her speed is enough to let her do like as many punches. Okay, think about this. Every time Nadami does a blast attack, he is hitting multiple people, which this boss has itself, and then the 2 side spawns on the end, which those aren't really side spawns. I'll give that more of a explanation in the other video when I'm actually doing this stage, because there's a lot to unpack in this stage. This stage is actually super fun, chat. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had a lot of fun doing this stage. I went into this stage and I honestly auto-battled everything up until the last phase here, and then I just tested it around and did the last phase myself, and I saw that some of the things that I was doing held me back a little bit, so I actually beat it myself in 16 turns, but then I auto-battled and the computer is just a little bit faster, and where I was trying to conserve SP and conserve skills so that whenever the Kaiju is out of a core break state and I can break his core faster again, the computer will just, or the AI will just use those skills while the Kaiju is in the core break state and do more damage anyway. So the AI actually ended up trimming an extra 3 turns off of the run, which allowed me to get all of the missions complete. So GG for that. But guys, this, you can see Blunt is all over this stage right here, which means that what they want you to do is they want you to use Kikoru for this stage, the new Kikoru, right? But we already have defeated it without using the Kikoru in this stage, and that is even more proof for me that Chester is the one to pick up and not Kikoru, because these stages are designed so Chester and Kikoru shine in these stages. Yet I just have Chester and I made it work. I have other Blunt characters around him and I made it work. The first stage is literally like, these 2 stages are like night and day. This stage is piss easy because it's literally like the last boss from the last Fierce Battle area, and that Fierce Battle area wasn't even that hard. But this one right here is this one has actually got a little bit of difficulty to him because he has some new mechanics to it, and I really like those new mechanics. They were really fun to like learn and work around, right? I had an aha moment when I kept going in and auto battling and it wasn't working out for me, and then I finally go in and I build the right team, and that's, like I said, how this game works. You do all of the mental math outside of the mission, putting the team together, and then once the team is together, they execute the job. But guys, that's kind of like my main reasoning for as to why you need to summon for Chester over Kikoru. I just don't think you need to summon Kikoru at all. Kikoru is good. Kikoru's damage is wild. And yes, all these content creators are going to make these videos showing you big numbers, big damage tests with Kikoru, and her damage is going to be the best damage in the game. But did we not just have a situation where everybody was trying to figure out if they need to summon for number 10 suit Hoshina, and then everybody who did got him and worked on him and did whatever and expended those resources, and everybody who didn't did exactly that. They didn't summon for him. But oh no, big whoop, another freaking attacker came out. Wow. Who cares, bro? These games are like this all the time. They drop these characters non-stop. I say if you are truly a fan and you truly want to do it, go for it, right? Or if you really like the Deadman and you really want to have every single character, because I like to learn. I like experience. When I pick up a character and I play with that character in a mission, not only do I learn from reading their kit, because learning I equivalent to being in the classroom, and then experience I equivalent to being in the field, right? there's training, and then there's actual work. Or there's learning and there's training, maybe is what I meant to say. But yes, I still want to pick up Kikoru nonetheless and try her out because she does seem fun. I did the trial battle, but I just don't think everybody should be rushing to the polls to pick her up. I don't think everybody should be so stuck because it says festival or it says special. Because, as we know, if Akatsuki is going to treat this game like they're treating it like Dokkan, which I'll be real with you, Dokkan already does stuff like this. Do 30 pulls and then get the 4th pull for free, or get the next 10 pulls for free. Dokkan already does stuff like that, but they only do stuff like that for major celebrations. They got to understand that they're releasing these characters at a rapid rate, and people aren't going to be able to summon for all these characters, and even the people who are willing to spend money aren't going to want to do it. It's just not justifiable, especially when the company doesn't do anything to prove that they're going to make it worth your while. I will say I did enjoy that one fight. Yes, the fight is very fun because I had to learn some new mechanics, but it's just like, how long will that fun last for me, and how many different teams can I build in that stage to try and actually beat it? I can't front you, that might need to be a showcase stage for a couple of characters here. I don't know, but guys, that's really all I have to say about the banners. Chester is the pickup for you. That was my choice at the beginning of the video. Nothing that I've said in this video has made me change my mind at all. It's very hard to say that Kikoru is a must pick up when there's already 15 other attackers in the game, and even if you don't want to count 14 other attackers in the game, and I'm sorry, even if you don't want to count the 4-star attackers, okay, then a big whoop. There's 8 other attackers in the game. Like, what do you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you summon for Kikoru, it's okay? Like, no. If you summon for Kikoru, you're gonna waste your dimensional crystals unless you were doing something of this nature, like content or something like that. You're going to be wasting your crystals because the next character is gonna come out, and the next character is gonna be stronger than her, and she's gonna come back at some point. They always come back, chat. They always come back. You know they do. You know they do. You've seen other gacha games. And if this is your first gacha game, learn that lesson right now. They always come back, and you may want them when you want them, but get over the instant gratification. Some of the best things in life are on the other side of patience, or on the other side of fear. And I know you fear missing out on this unit, but that's okay. If you can get through your fear, you will become stronger, and you will be handsomely rewarded. Because what are you going to do when they drop another unit on October the 14th or the 15th? Because let's be real, this is Akatsuki we're talking about, and I don't trust them not to do something crazy like that. They already dropped 2 characters on us with no real indicators that they were dropping 2 characters in the first place. Like, people can say they leaked the chapter event and showed a picture of both of these characters and whatnot, but like, that does not 100% guarantee, oh, we're just gonna drop a double special fest on you. That's insane. That is ridiculous. But guys, the one you should be picking up is Chester. That's gonna be it for your boy DEADMANVINCE. I gotta get you this recording of Fierce Battle Area. But if you guys did enjoy the video, then you can go down below and leave a like on the video. You can also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time the dead man decides to hit the Kaiju glide. And you can also comment down below, Kikoru looked small as hell in them big ass gauntlets, because she do look crazy in them gauntlets. There's a joke I used to say to people that would be like, man, you stole your dad's kicks whenever their kicks look like too big for their feet, or like beat up, or like they're wearing some oversized clothes or something. I'm like, you stole your dad's clothes. Wow, Kikoru really did that. Rest in pieces, rest in particles, Esau. But yes, that's gonna be it for your boy DEADMANVINCE. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and even if you didn't, hopefully you guys were informed. Love ya. Bye.